To be here today with a group that shares our passion and our love for rivers, especially right here in Georgia. So I'm going to go quickly and try to get out a lot of information in a short time, but I will be around afterwards if you have questions or want to talk about anything further. So I know I'm preaching to the choir here for just a minute, but I just wanted to start out with get you thinking about, wouldn't it be wonderful if that there was a place on earth that protected rare habitats, provided a 48-mile corridor for wildlife, showcased historic architecture, preserved culture, and provided clean drinking water for millions of people. And wouldn't it be wonderful if there was a place on earth that was so beautiful that millions of people would flock there every year just to see it, to touch the water, to walk in the woods, to contemplate their lives, or just to enjoy their families? And wouldn't it be wonderful if that place was so special that people desperately did not want to lose it, and that they would gather up their neighbors and their friends and they'd petition the United States Congress to protect it forever, in perpetuity for their children and their grandchildren, and that Congress would listen. And wouldn't it be wonderful if people loved this place so much that they would work, they'd volunteer to protect it every single day of the year for decades, donating thousands of hours, their Saturdays, weekends, holidays, all hours of the day. They'd bring their children, and then those children would grow up, and they'd love it too. And the towns and the cities all around this place would help protect it and provide connections for millions of residents. Well, it is pretty wonderful. And everyone here today, I think, is testimony to that. The Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area is one of the most special places on earth, and the people who protect it and use it know that. And now many more people will as well, because the Department of Interior has taken notice and just designated the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area as America's very first national water trail. This is the first in a nationwide system of water trails that are going to better connect Americans to their rivers. Let's see. Can you get this for me down? Just so I'm getting yeah. So it's going to better connect people to their rivers and promote clean water and encourage people to get outside. So I'm going to take the next few minutes just to explain a little bit about the National Water Trails program, what it means to us, and then try to answer your questions. So what is a water trail in general? There is a general explanation that it's a system designated by the Department of the Interior to serve as a catalyst for protecting and restoring the health of local waterways. Yeah, so that's kind of in general what it is. But then there's a very official designation too, and that is, in the government we always have official designations. Water trails are recreational routes on waterways with a network of public access and points supported by broad-based community partnerships. They provide both conservation and recreation opportunities. So next slide would be great. So why then the Chattahoochee? And one more slide. Well, we thought it was just a perfect fit. And when we heard the Secretary's office beginning to talk about this program last summer, we real quickly got the application and very quickly also saw that we met almost every single, well, not almost, we met every single criteria that was on there. And these are some of the criteria for those of you who may be interested in applying to be a National Water Trail as well. They're called best management practices, and the first one is that you've got to have a mission statement. You've got to have defined public accesses, which we have 18 along the Chattahoochee. If you go back to that map, if you can, we've got 18 accesses, including about 16 of our own, and then several from the communities and counties that we work with as well. So all the way from Lake Lanier down into the city of Atlanta, 48 miles, 18 public accesses along that route. You've got to have opportunities for interpretation and for reaching and for people to learn. You've got to have opportunities to restore the health of the waterway with your local communities, with partners. Fifth, you have to have local community advocacy for stewardship and for maintenance along that waterway, and we absolutely have that right here at the Nature Center, the Upper Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, the Georgia DNR, I could just go on and on, the USGS, all kinds of partners up and down this waterway who help us every single day. You've got to have access to public information, things like maps, and I left a few on the table up here if you need one, and other interpretive materials. You've got to have facilities for maintenance, and which we have several out there, and you've got to have some form of planning, which the park also had. We just actually finished general management plan. So all those things were in place, And so we just really advocated and thought Chattahoochee River was designed from its very inception to be a turnkey water trail for America, and that's very much how it's used today. And so we were the fit. We had a little edge because we're already managed by the Department of Interior, so it was pretty easy to come and get us. And actually, they're still developing a lot of the criteria and a lot of the work that's going to go into this program. Actually, over the next several months, we expect 50 additional water trails to be designated. And those don't have to be just federal areas. They can be local areas, state areas, nonprofit areas, all kinds of areas. I think there's somebody that's going to talk a little bit about a blue way after me. What's the difference between a blue way and a water trail? Well, they're very, very similar. The main difference is that the water trail is designated by the Secretary of Interior, and you get benefits that come with that. So what are the benefits? Well, there's some very tangible benefits. You have potential access to funding. You have increased visibility through national promotions, potentially increased tourism. We're already realizing some of those economic benefits. We have challenge cost share projects that have now been funded, one where we're going to begin a macroinvertebrate study on the river that we've been trying to do for years. Now all of a sudden we can get $25,000 to complete that study. We have access now to what's called the Land and Water Conservation Funds, a certain piece of that we were not eligible for before, so we can use that to help with land acquisition along the river. So that's all great. And then we also have much higher priority for partnership funding as well. So those are some of our special projects so far, but I think there's also some very intangible benefits. And one is really to help people who live all around the river realize the increased quality of life that they have because the Chattahoochee River is there. And it gives us all a larger platform for connections, through mutual support and knowledge sharing and trying to preserve what we've got out here in a much bigger way. So, that's just kind of in a nutshell, in a brief little nutshell, what this water trail program is all about. There's going to be a lot more information to come. We hope that we'll be able to kick this whole program off within the next couple of months when we get some dignitaries from Washington down here. Hopefully the Secretary of Interior himself will be here to help kick it off, and we want to invite all of you to participate with us and be partners in what we can do together. And so really just in conclusion, we know, I think all of us know, that the Chattahoochee River is a singular resource in this area that can increase the quality of life for people and the very image of Atlanta in a way that I don't think anything else can, and I don't think it's really been realized fully to date. It's an absolutely amazing, rich resource, and the National Water Trail Program will help market that broadly and better connect all of us who work along this great river. So I look forward to working with each of you as this develops, and it is pretty wonderful.